Hi guys, welcome to Vote Sports. Arsenal are discussing internally to bring in Raheem Sterling. Arsenal fans might not be happy with this because nobody expected that Raheem Sterling will be coming to Arsenal, but they are discussing if they can bring him on loan or they can bring him permanently. But the issue is that Arsenal might not be able to pay Raheem Sterling wages because he's earning over £300,000 in Chelsea. But if you're going to go to Arsenal, Arsenal will not be able to pay that, and Arsenal is going to bring him as a bit part player, not actually as a first team player. Okay guys, if you look at that deal, what do you make of that? Because the rumor started this week that Arsenal might be bringing a right winger. Now it died out. Now this morning they are talking about bringing Raheem Sterling. The rumor was that they might bring Kingsley Coman. That one died down too, but now Raheem Sterling. What do you make of that? Do you think Arsenal should be going for Raheem Sterling at this stage?
Personally, I don't think Arsenal should be looking to Raheem Sterling or Kingsley Coman. And before anybody gets angry with that statement, let's just look at it categorically. Arsenal are a young side with young talented players, skillful players in that side, in the setup. Now, Arsenal fans have been calling for the club to sign a backup to Saka in that 7th position, and they've not yet made that acquisition. Now, should the club actually go in and get a Coman or a Sterling as a backup to Saka, you have to deal with the baggage of these players and their egos and their pride and their money. So you have somebody who is performing for you, who is doing well on a good pay, and then you bring somebody who is earning maybe twice that player and is playing backup to the player, and you now want him to come and sit on the bench comfortably waiting for Saka to pick up an injury before he gets a run-in. It's not a good look from the bench. It's not a good look on the player side. And for me, it doesn't look good for the team. I feel Arsenal, if they are looking to bolster that position where Saka is playing, should be looking to get in at least a young player who fits in that mold, like a Rice, what's his name, Nielsen. He's currently the one playing that backup position. Getting somebody who is a talented player coming in within that age bracket rather than a Raheem Sterling who is almost 30.
You want a Nelson.
And then you are looking at a Coman who is almost the same age bracket. So for me, it has to be a younger player that can come in. If you told me you're bringing in a Garnacho across the park, or you're bringing another young player who can play in the wings into that position, or a Nico Williams, I would understand they are comparatively the same age or thereabouts, and they can play it with each other, feeding off each other in that wing. But if you bring in a Sterling, let's not forget, Sterling has been around the Premier League. He's been at Liverpool, Man City, Chelsea. Now we are hearing talks of Man U or Arsenal. So Sterling is going to come with his own baggage. He's going to demand his £325,000, which is eating at Chelsea, and he's going to come in and not be in the starting 11. So you now have more beef in the dressing room, which was what Arteta moved the club away from when they sold the likes of Lacazette and Aubameyang. So for me, I don't think it's a good move.
Okay, now so if you look at that deal, Arsenal needs a right winger to back up with Saka. They have Nelson there, but probably Arteta doesn't trust Nelson like that. Now bringing in Sterling, they have to discuss it. They have to actually tell him, look, you might not be starting. We might not be able to pay. That means if he's accepting to come, it means that he accepted the terms of the deal. What do you make of this deal generally?
Okay, look at it this way. You prefer a Reece Nelson, I can play anywhere, than a Raheem Sterling who you know can give you numbers. I don't know how you see that, but I believe for me, it's a good deal if you look at it, because we've always hammered on the fact that Arsenal, apart from some players in defense, the likes of Jorginho is playing from the bench. He's a team leader. Thomas Partey is a team leader. Martin Odegaard is a team leader. In the front line, you have no team leaders there. Saka, young man, the other guy, young guy. You need a team leader on the bench and also on the field. Now with the back line, Gabriel and Saliba starting as team leaders, Declan Rice and Partey in midfield, you want someone in attack as well. So even if he's not starting, when he comes in, he should have something to offer the team. And Arsenal are not looking for someone that will come in and start fighting for starting players. They're looking for backups and team players. That's what Arsenal should be looking out for. And I think Raheem Sterling is one of those players you could put in that position as a team player. He can sit on the bench and give advice to the young ones.
I disagree.
And that
30 years to give an
I
advice.
disagree.
See, he can sit
£300,000 a week to give advice. What type of advice would he be giving?
It depends on.
You weren't a team player at Chelsea. You weren't a team player at Man City. And you want to come and be a team player at Arsenal.
At those ages, he was still young. At Liverpool, he was a very young player. He was playing alongside the likes of Sturridge and the rest of them. He was a young player. At Man City, he gave his numbers. He tried. Pep doesn't just like the way he plays and shipped him out. Now he's at Chelsea. He's played at some point in Chelsea. I think towards the end of last season, he was playing off the bench. You understand? That's being a team player. You play off the bench. When you come in, you give your numbers as well. It's not every time you start players. Look, at Arsenal will be playing a lot of competitions now. There's the FA Cup, there's the Carabao Cup, there's the Champions League. Now, how many of Arsenal players have played in Champions League before now?
And if
there
you
are
look
lots
at,
of them.
And if you look at it, though, you hardly hear that Sterling has a dressing room problem. He's always
a team
calm.
player. That's why I say he's
calm.
a team player.
So probably that's why
I
Arteta actually looking at him.
I understand
You know,
why.
he coached him. He was with him at
Man City.
at Man City. So probably he have watched him in dressing room. He's not the person that causes problem in this dressing room. So they just need to agree. If they agree a deal, you are sitting on the bench. You are not going to be starting.
I understand where John is coming from. You can't have a player earn £350,000.
Imagine that.
And he's sitting on the bench.
Now there's a rumor. This same rumor of Sterling leaving Chelsea has been in the market since Enzo Maresca came out to say, or perhaps those press conferences. Now look at it. Man United have said, if we want you to come to the club, you'll be a team player. You take perhaps £150,000 or £200,000 at max a week. In Arsenal, the same thing will happen to him. That's the same contract they might want to negotiate with him because he wants to start playing. These are players that play for the passion. They play for not just the money. They want to win trophies.
They play not just for the money. Somebody see, there are two things I want to draw out here that we've not looked at. For one, if you look at his past 3 moves, they've all been incumbent on him falling out with the manager. It happened at Liverpool. It happened at Manchester City. It also is happening at Chelsea right now. And then the second fact I want to point out is that for every time, for every time he's moved, he's always asked for bigger pay. And you tell me he's a player that is playing for the passion. I disagree with that. Please call it what it is. First
of all, I don't think that he had a problem with Pep. Pep just sold him because he was a fringe player now, and people are offering. Just we are offering big money
to sign him. And
in
Liverpool, they needed money to back some signings. So he didn't have a fallout with Liverpool. His manager at Liverpool. He didn't have a fallout with his manager at Man City. So now at Chelsea, this man came in and he doesn't want him. This is the first time he's having a fallout with the manager because the manager wants to change a whole lot of things from the dressing room down to the players that play on the pitch. So he's not having a fallout, and he's never demanded more. Because at Chelsea he came in for at least, I think he came in for about 200 or 300,000.
325,000
he came in for 2,000.
Joint top earner.
Okay, he came into Chelsea for 300. It's not his fault that they had to match his contract, or perhaps they had to give him 350 and 25,000. It wasn't his fault. He didn't demand a higher pay. He was, at least at some point, he was demanding maybe 300,000 or so. But Chelsea wanted to pull him off Man City because the coach doesn't need him, and yet he took a very good pay. It's not his fault. Now he's going to Arsenal. If he wants to leave, or perhaps if his camp are looking that he wants to get playtime, because that's what he will be looking out for now. If he's going to be fighting for playtime, he will have to take pay cuts, or perhaps cause problems in the Chelsea, and he has not caused any problem yet. And in Arsenal fold now, they want it's not about what you play like, it's what you would offer when you come off the bench. And I think I've said this before, and I'll say this again. If Arsenal takes off Odegaard, the player that is coming to replace him does not have much to offer. Fabio Vieira, now he's off on loan. If Saka is taken off the bench, and you look at the Arsenal substitute bench, who is coming in to make something different? Nobody. So Sterling is one of those players, and he's just also a team player. If you're losing a game against Wolverhampton Wanderers or against Aston Villa, who do you look at the bench and there's nobody there? You have to play it with the way, just like how he cost them the trophy last season. Squad depth is a problem, so you need team players to sit on the bench.
At the end of the day, you say he's leaving Chelsea to get playtime. He's coming to an Arsenal where he's going to sit on the bench. There's no playtime there.
Okay, let's see what happens with Sterling, because Arsenal needs a backup for Saka. They are trying to bring in Sterling. Now, Sterling is a player that Arteta has been with at Manchester City for about 3 years, so he knows the player well, he knows the character well. Probably that's why he's trying to bring him to Arsenal. But Sterling has to take a pay cut and agree that probably he will not be starting most of the games. He's going to be sitting on the bench. But let's see how it develops. You have only 24 hours or less than 24 hours before the transfer window closes. Will Arsenal be getting another player in before the transfer window closes? We'll give you updates on that. And remember, Arsenal has already agreed to bring in another goalkeeper, Neto, if Garcia of Spaniard did not work out. I will keep giving you updates. Stay with us.